I love you too. Thank you for being here. We're talking about Tiffany Haddish though, okay? We only have an hour. Thank you. Thank you for the love though. Ay. So she's got this thing that she does. She revealed that she has a sneaky way of finding out what casting directors think of her after she auditions for a part. Well, take a look.
Phone on voice memo, put it in my bag. I do the audition, walk out the room, leave my bag.
You're nasty.
Oh,
look at you. Really? What would you hear?
Come back, be like, oh, I forgot my purse in there. Get my purse.
But you've actually done that.
Get in the car.
And what would you hear?
You can't do it
They
anymore.
be like,
We just
they be like,
told everyone.
she's not as urban as I thought she would be.
I knew that was the word, yeah.
She's
That's the word I didn't want to hear.
Or they would be like, she's so ghetto, I just can't. Her boobs aren't big enough. But I really think we should just go with a white girl. She's not, this role should be changed to white.
Quite frankly, I think it's very clever. And let me tell you something these days. You want to know what people are saying behind your back. You want to know why you didn't get the job, or, you know, he doesn't like you better than he likes her, or vice versa. Like, don't you want to know? I think that that's a human thing. You want to know. You know? And so, she could have gotten in a lot of trouble and maybe had no career at all if she was ever found out with, you know, the bag in there, with the device rolling, you know, her telephone recording and stuff. I gotta say though, now that she's talking about it, I guess she thinks that, Tiffany, what do you think, you don't have to audition for parts anymore? Because she's a big thing in Hollywood. She's a big thing in Hollywood, but everybody's still got it. A lot of big people in Hollywood still have to audition for their roles. You know, she doesn't just have it like that. So if I was a casting director for the next project, I would be looking at her like, kind of like, okay, what is she recording? First of all, it's illegal, but that's okay because she was doing it. I believe she was coming from a place of pureness in doing it. She just wanted to know how she can improve her game the next time. What was it that they said? But it's also a racial social experiment. Quite frankly, I'd be looking for the N word, followed by the B word. You know, this B doesn't act N enough. This is supposed to be a film, you know, for them, those people. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes people get a little loose and slick with the tongue when one of us is not in the room. But they didn't say that. The casting directors didn't say that. They stayed on course and they gave her good advice. Okay, her boobs weren't big enough. So what do? Do you pad up for a role? Do you study the role more? I don't know, I'm not laughing about this. Seriously, you know, if they wanted her to be urban enough, maybe she could have come in character so she'll know next time for an audition, maybe come in the room in the character, you know? I gotta say though, it is very, very crafty. Now she can't use the purse thing, but she can always use a barrette device. There's a spy. I don't know if it's there, but my favorite spy store is on 40th Street at Park Avenue here in the city. And you go in there and you get all kinds of things. A lipstick posing as a pretty little butterfly that you think is a decoration on a bra is really a recording device for visual as well as audio, barrettes and all that other kind of stuff. If I would have a hard time fully trusting her now, even to be a regular friend, a boyfriend or a girlfriend or you know, her brother or her sister. Like, what is that, a pen or is that a pen? You know, like in your pocket. But all in all, it's good to be able to take notes. I gotta tell you, the person that got it right is probably Jim Carrey. Now, that also goes into my Vanessa Hudgens story, doesn't it?
Yep.
Let's talk about her too.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey will be the learning lesson for both Tiffany and Vanessa. So Vanessa Hudgens is publicly campaigning to be the next Catwoman. Well, I've never met this girl. I still want her to get back with Zac Efron. That's how far we go back. They were just these cute little kids in High School Musical, but that was when Kevin was a goober, so I was all into that stuff that moms have to get into because their kids are into it. Anyway, so the producers are currently casting for the next Batman movie. Now, the word is that, what's the British guy's name? Robert Pattinson is gonna play Batman. He's a pretty good choice. You know, he wouldn't have the English accent. He's a really good actor. And under his clothes, I understand he's body down. Plus the Batman costume always comes with the extra, surgical enhancements. Anyway, so Vanessa's auditioning for the role of Catwoman. She says it would be isn't she just cute? She's a beautiful girl. She's grown up to be a really good girl. She's not like one of those crazy Hollywood kids. She goes out and has fun just enough. Her jawline is everything. She's beautiful. And she's a really good actress. We don't see her act enough. But she'd be good as Catwoman. And I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Catwoman was black. She was Eartha Kitt. Catwoman was black. She was Halle Berry. Although that movie didn't do very well. And it's not Halle because she's a great actress. I suspect it's the costume. This costume is too dungeon for me. Do you know what I mean? Catwoman's sexuality was implied. It wasn't thrown in our faces with a pair of chaps. It was implied that she and Bruce Wayne got it on and that Catwoman did her thing. She would drop a pill in a man's drink and, and have her way. She always had a potion. Take this, Commissioner Gordon. Anyway, but this is not about that. This is about Vanessa. So she posted a picture to fans, her Facebook and Instagram people. A picture, there she is as Catwoman. Her face is cropped on it. Her fans love it. She also posted a childhood picture when she dressed as Catwoman, I guess for Halloween. And underneath the picture it says, "Just to prove how obsessed I've always been." Do you think it'll be embarrassing if she doesn't get the role? No word on who's up for the part. I don't think it'll be embarrassing. Everybody, you always tell a little somebody something when you want something, and then if you don't get it, the person's gonna be like, well, what happened with that role? Well, I didn't get that one, but I'll get the next one. Or, you keep your head up if you don't get it. But she shouldn't be embarrassed. However, what I think, and this is where Tiffany Haddish meets Catwoman and Jim Carrey wins. I think that she's using, Vanessa, social media for the wrong reasons. She shouldn't have posted on social media. She should have pulled a Jim Carrey. And this is what you do. And kind of, Tiffany, this is how you show up at auditions. So Jim Carrey, back in the day, okay, he wanted to play Andy Kaufman. You remember the show Taxi? Andy Kaufman, okay. Andy Kaufman, they were doing a movie about his life. It was called Man on the Moon. And Jim Carrey really wanted to play Andy Kaufman. So what he did, Jim Carrey, this is so genius, but so obvious. I don't know why more people don't do this. He totally embodied Andy Kaufman. Dressed the part, talked the part, did the part, the whole bit. And then he taped it. And he sent it to the director of Man on the Moon. And Jim Carrey got the job. Because all he was Andy Kaufman from the time of seeing from the time this tape started rolling, and he only sent it to the director, or maybe you could send it to the production team. But the director's a good one, just one person and one person only, and that person just watches it and says, wow, he's got this role. Not only does he do it well, but he didn't spread it through Hollywood that he wants it, putting pressure on me like I have to give it to him. Or now I look like egg on my face if I give it to the wrong person and then the movie flops and then they say, well, you should have given it to, the next person. That's all. Like, Tiffany, you're a great actress and you're really funny, but next time just show up in the part. Stuff your bra, get your black scent on, or whatever. Whatever they want for the role. And Vanessa, use social media to take pictures of your food and what you're doing. But don't use it to audition for roles. That's between you and the director or the producer. So, come on, Andrews. Day before big vacation. We're multitasking so we can get out of here on time. We love being here, but we got vacations to do too. So So Felicity Hoffman and her husband, William H. Macy, are celebrating their daughter's high school graduation. They were spotted at the local grocery store getting balloons. It was said in our morning meeting, why only 2 balloons? Like, what difference does it make? Why is he out of the house? Why are you pushing this celebration in our face, you alleged crooks? What are you doing? And then he goes and he picks up the cake. Why didn't you have an assistant go do this? Everybody in the Hot Topics morning meeting, except for me and one other person, said you shouldn't even be celebrating this. You know, you changed your girls' SAT scores. They went up 400 points because of your cheatation. And now you're facing time in jail. And even though it's not as much as Lori Loughlin, what you did was just as bad. You cheated all our kids out of getting into the school because your kid is taking up the room. Our kids are busy studying and doing the right thing. And you're over there using your Hollywood money. Look, Sophia graduates. Sophia is the one right here with next to Dad. The other one is like 15, so she'll be next, I guess. Sophia graduates in a few weeks. Should you be celebrating this? I say yes, but here's how you celebrate. You celebrate in your house with the blinds closed. You invite family members who actually want to come over and not anybody who's gonna call like Hot Topics Bureau or anything like that. You know what I mean? And you don't do it outside where the helicopters are just looking. Because you know, the paparazzi has the schedule of when all these kids graduate from high school. If I were the girl, I wouldn't even show up to graduation. And Mom and Dad, you better not think of it. This is not a time for us to be celebrating. And it's clear to us that Lori Loughlin's daughter, to me anyway, that her daughter knew about the cheatation and was all about, Mommy, I don't row. Just put my face on that. You know, this girl down here, the brunette, it seems, knew what her parents were doing. So I'm not even talking, let's talk about the Hoffman Macy family. I would think it'd be awkward as hell when they call Sophia Macy. Boo. Boo. Throwing stuff and stuff. Like, how do you, and if you're a graduate and you're legit, how do you even sit next to her? Well, only the M's have to worry about that. Don't they seat them in alphabetical order? And then, does she take what they call the gap year? Or does, you know, and take off, or does she go right to college? Because when you walk across the stage, you're supposed to be walking across the stage knowing where you're going to school, and then you leave for school. Now, there are people who take that gap year, they go off, they want to travel Europe or whatever. We didn't have it like that in our family. It's like you get out, we don't have money for you to backpack. You know, you go to college, you only have 4 years. I went to a 5-year school, I didn't even do 5 years. I was like, nope, I'll hustle myself my own thing. I could probably do it better than the co-op program, which I ended up doing. We had co-op at Northeastern, but they were only good with the criminal justice majors and, you know, everything but a communications majors. They would have had me working at Wang Computer in the personnel department or something like that. And think that they fulfilled their obligation, you know, as co-op. Well, you did for the school, but for me as Wendy wanting to be a radio DJ, you didn't do it for me. I had to do it for myself. Shout out to Matt Siegel and everybody at KISS 108 in Boston. Thank you for the internship that I got myself, you know? But, you know, you go off to school and then the hustle becomes real. You know, you can't count on anybody, including the leaders at the school, to help you out. But this girl should probably take the gap year. First of all, her family can afford it. She needs to disappear somewhere in Dublin, right? You stay there for like a year, you change your name, you scrub floors and clean houses or whatever it is that you do so that if by chance you're discovered over there, then people are looking at you eating humble pie, you know? And then you come back and you go to college. I think that she should not be denied going to college though. It's just that, I'm sorry, I know it's crooked, but she shouldn't be denied going to college. A gap year is probably a good thing because she's probably Hollywood fragile. You know, when you grow up rich and spoiled and everything like that, if you ever notice, those people are always a lot more fragile than the rest of us who had to thug it out in life. You know? Because for me, like if I were her, but I'm not, but if I were her coming from my humble beginnings that I did, I would tell my mom and dad, you all stay home from graduation, I'm going. And when they call my name, I'm gonna pimp walk across the stage, grab my diploma, and then I'm going to college. I wouldn't even take the gap year if I were her, but only because, you know, if you come from regular and you might have cheated or something like that, your family doesn't have all that money to coddle you, you know? So you go right to college and then, and just prove them wrong by doing right. I mean, you're still wrong, but just do right. Just do right. How many years is she facing, Felicity?
Felicity, I've been 4 months, 4 to 10 months.
4 to 10 months your mom does. 4 to 10 months. And then dad hasn't even gotten tried yet.
No, he's not even implicated in it.
But he was there when the
Yeah,
grades
he
were
was-
being changed.
exactly.
We heard his voice.
Exactly.
Why isn't he being implicated? Because he's a
We
man.
have no clue. We have no clue, but he has not been charged.
Take this, Andrews. Did you get the Markles in, I mean, these people in here? Thank you. Speaking of the Markles, Meghan Markle's brother, who, by the way, remember, this is her half-brother, the sister who's in the wheelchair, and he share the same father. Meghan's father is different from their father. Well,
Meghan's father is, they all have the same father. I think the sister Samantha and the brother have the same mother and father.
Okay, whatever. They're half. He's half brother to Meghan Markle. Do they look alike? He might be no brother to Meghan Markle. Anyway, that's not the story. The story is that he's officially homeless, is what he says. Meaning he doesn't have a home. He's not living under a bridge. He's living in a hotel. I didn't say a motel, I said a hotel. There's a difference. And I had them check that 1,000,000 times in the morning meeting, because you know the difference between a motel and a hotel, the dinge on the sheets. Speaking of which, I know you've been waiting for me to talk about Lamar. And I know. I mean, I don't mean to be mad about it. I'm mad at Lamar more than anything else. But I know you've been waiting. Look, we at the Bureau are almost finished with the book. We have like this much left of the book. In other words, nothing. And we've read it. And I've now formulated my opinion, and I will deliver that to you tomorrow. Happy Friday tomorrow. Yeah. And when I tell that story, I'm gonna lead with this face. All right. So Thomas is 52 years old and he's staying in a hotel in Oregon. He's been there for the past 2 months with his fiance and her son and 2 dogs. Only because I'm thinking, how big is the room? And what do you do with the 2 dogs? Do you just open the door and kind of wait for them to leave? You all are no good right there. You're no good. Now, I love animals. You saw me mix it up with Dave Mizajewski. But, and however, is there people over animals? Like, do you, okay, sorry. And then how big are the dogs? Anyway, he says that it's all Meghan's fault that he's homeless. So, I don't know how they're paying for the hotel room. I have no idea. He says that his life has been thrown in the spotlight because of Meghan, his sister. He says that he can't find a job. He can't lease an apartment or a house because every time they look at his last name, they're like, oh, Markle. That is a unique name, though, when you think about it. It seems like a random name like Smith or Jones or something like that, but how many Markles do you know? It really is a unique name. Anyway, Thomas, you only have yourself to blame, because I gotta tell you something, sir. If you know, If Thomas wasn't doing so much talking, you'd pass him in the street. You would, he doesn't stand out in terms of, oh my gosh, that's Meghan Markle's brother, number one. Number two, Thomas, we would just assume you were another Markle if you weren't always on Hot Topics and in the tabloids and telling your stories to everybody with a microphone and a pad and pen. And let's not forget your arrest for DUI and domestic violence. I remember the story back in 2017 when you allegedly pulled a gun on your then wife. Whose fault was that, Meghan's? Meghan made you mad, so you pointed a gun at a woman, allegedly. Well, he's got to do something for money. Right now, he says that his trade was cutting glass. Well, yes, cutting glass, excuse me. Somebody over there said what? Yes, well, quite frankly, it's a very precise profession. Have you ever gotten glass or marble made for your house or had to replace something? Not marble, glass or mirror. It's very, very precise. One wrong cut and you splinter the whole project. You gotta throw it all away. Shout out to all the glass cutters. I have an appreciation for you. I do. But the thing is that your skill is cutting glass. You're not the president of the glass company. You're not in a boardroom. Nobody's judging you because you're Thomas Markle. If you cut good glass, come on in. Cut my glass. And it's not unusual for a man of 52 to have some sort of run-in with the law. I mean, the whole thing about the alleged gun is one thing. But, that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, so here's what he's gonna do for money since he says that he can't do anything and he's living with 2 dogs in a hotel with, I'm just picturing them to be like big, hairy collies or something like that. And the kid, how old is the kid? I have no idea. And then this is his girlfriend. This is not his wife that he's living with. So I don't know how long this relationship has been going on or how long she's going to stick around. We're always on the run, Thomas. Why can't you work? Then he says, I got a job. I'm gonna box. Oh, yes. Oh, he's going to box the overweight man with the cigar. Now, okay. Who's the man in the center with the black hat? Right? Anyway, look, the man with the cigar, his name is Henry Nacho Luan. And they're gonna box on June 8th. And guess what Thomas's boxing name is? The Duke. That's Harry's name. Harry's title, the Duke. Anyway, Thomas, good luck with your boxing and stop blaming poor Meghan, who everybody loves. I love her. Stop blaming her on your problems, all right? And if I were Meghan, I would definitely want to get back in a relationship with my father. And I definitely hold tight that relationship with my mother. But I would not care about this brother. And if the sister doesn't start saying some nice things or nothing at all, I don't care about you either. I don't care. I only care about my mother and father. All right, everybody, we got more great show for you. We got a good one. We're breaking down what's hot in social media, including Britney Spears' Instagram message to her fans. So grab a snack and come on.